Welcome back to Fear Street. This is another Fear Street review. I am still your girl, Sheree, and I am here today to talk to you about a little movie called Bring Her Back, which is in theaters right the fuck now. Because I'm me and these are unscripted, there might be some accidental spoilers. I'm going to try my best to keep it spoiler free or spoiler light, but if you do not trust that vibe, hit pause, and you can find this after you see the movie, because the internet keeps everything forever, as a lot of people keep finding out. Anywho's, the synopsis for Bring Her Back reads: a brother and sister uncover a terrifying ritual at the secluded home of their new foster mother. That is not inaccurate, but also there's a lot more to that sentence. Let me tell you what the fuck I've seen. So off the bat, we have four main characters, if we want to like get technical with that. One is played by Barrett. It's Billy Barrett. That's Andy, who's the older brother in the situation, who's coming to this foster home. Very believable kid who is taking on the weight of the world on his shoulders because he has a little sister to support, and he is not able to adopt her because he's only 17 is what it would be in America, and I think also in Australia, but also I was not keeping track of ages, but he's almost an adult, and so in a few months he could potentially like be the person who like takes his sister in and like keeps her with him, because his sister is a blind girl who has special requirements and things, and he's worried how foster parents might treat her. That sister is played by the Sora Wong, who's Piper, one of my new favorite characters in the world, because we don't often get this sort of intersection of girl of color with a disability that's always given a blonde girl. And so I really love her, and I wish that more reviewers and so forth would mention her a little bit more, because they keep forgetting her, and I do not want to give away the character arcs, but I think that she's more important to this story than people are treating her. And our chaotic agent is played by Sally Hawkins. That is Laura, who is the foster mother. I'm not going to spoil anything, but what a sight to behold. What a character. What a cut up. I'm going to unpack her a little bit more as we get into this, but I'm going to try not to dance into spoiler territory because it's such a weird, chaotic, and heavy ride, and you should all see it. And rounding out our main four is Jonah Wren Phillips as Oliver. This kid's creepy. I do not know this kid. I would like to know more. I would like to see more, because this kid did all the Dark Lord's work. And so I'm going to leave it there, because again, if you're like me, you did not know what kind of movie this was when you walked in. You just knew it was by the Philippou brothers. If I'm saying that correctly, I'm from the Midwest. And they did talk to me. So you expected to see some what the fuck moments, but you probably didn't know what vibe would be. It is definitely a possession movie on top of some other things. Ripping that band-aid right here, right now. Again, you can pause and you can find this after you see the movie if you don't want anything else. But like, I went in knowing Talk to Me is my special baby, and I love her, and nothing's gonna touch her. And so I was curious to see what they were gonna do, but also I just knew it was not gonna be Talk to Me Part 2, because they're still writing that or have written that, and I haven't gotten it yet. Either way, it's not here in my eyeballs. So I let that expectation go. I was like, what are they going to do? How are they going to follow it up? It's probably going to be good anyways. And yes, it is. Yes, it is. It is not the same fun, frenzied Gen Z vibe. This is actually heavier, because it shares a lot of the vibes and it shares a lot of the themes with Talk to Me, which makes sense when you like start investigating the brothers behind it, because they were experiencing some real life shit during these films. And so like that makes sense why these are so heavy, and they're heavy in a way that's not just the typical filmmakers hitting the trauma button, which I hate. And those are the movies I'm just like actively just like rolling my eyes when people are crying and I don't understand. These feel lived in, because again, they are dealing with personal things through these films. So yeah, it has the same energy of in that way, but not in the like fun, we're playing with a hand, ooh, she's messy way. This is more, I'm so uncomfortable, I'm screaming in my seat, I'm dealing with this the way I deal with people who are grieving in front of me. I want to look away, but I can't look away. And while it's doing that, it's undercutting itself with some what the fuck moments. Like this movie's best described as 30 what the fuck moments in a trench coat. While you're crying, you're just like, oh no. And you want to look away, but you want to lean forward if you're a ghoul like me. I don't know how everybody else processes things, but I was torn between looking away and leaning forward, and I kept leaning forward while trying to like shield one eyeball. So yeah. This is definitely heavier. Like, do not walk into this thinking you're not gonna feel some feels, because you are. You probably are. And I think that that's gonna be very polarizing for a lot of horror fans because they love to be like, "This is horror," and I hate that conversation, and I judge people every day. This is definitely horror. It is definitely a horror that understands what it's trying to do. We're getting quite a few movies this year in the genre that are just like horror and they're hitting the and a little bit harder than a lot of the people would like. But I think that is how horror thrives, by giving itself texture and also like understanding it's not just like jump scares on jump scares, because nobody wants that. At least I don't, because I have taste. Anywho's, I I definitely had a reaction to this movie. Again, I think that watching people process grief is hard. So watching all these characters, and again, all of these characters, even the most chaotic among them, are in a place of grief and not knowing how to deal with it. Some of them are making it other people's problems. Some of them are taking on some guilt they shouldn't be taking on. Like, it's all messy and murky, which is very realistic, which is another reason why I think this movie works, because it's not putting like the glossy filter of a TikTok over it. It's just like, no, this shit's heavy, this shit's rough, this shit's hard. There's no perfect way to navigate it. You do not make the best choices when you are not your best self. You need more than a Snickers. You can't just fix this overnight, unfortunately. We all wish we could. And I think that that is part of the reason why you feel the dread and you feel the tension and you feel the question marks on your forehead as things are happening, but also you're just trying to not start crying in public. And then we let loose. We let loose and we remember these are the people that gave us Talk to Me. These are the people who said fuck them kids. These are the people who said Satan is among us. And we get there, and we get there fast, and we see some fucked up shit. I have very few things that make me look away from a screen, and this scraped quite a few of those. And I did want to look away, but I couldn't look away because bad things were happening. Yeah. Anywho's, I think that you should go see this movie if you want your feelings stomped on, and if you want to see some fucked up shit, because it's definitely gonna hit you in your feels while cranking up the thermostat for disturbing imagery. Lovely, love to see it. As for me, I'm giving it 4 dark and stormies because I need an adult beverage for these heavy feelings. This is an adult movie, and I think that's the reason why a lot of the girls are going to be split on it. Because again, they wanted Fast Times at Ridgemont High, and this is like, no, go to therapy. And nobody wants to hear that, even though they need to hear that again for the 90th time in a lot of these cases. Anywho's, Bring Her Back is in theaters. I think you should see it, as I've said. If you don't catch it in theaters, catch it on the VOD streets. I think she's worth the $5. And I'm going to thank the Fear Street Discord for helping me make the good choice of figuring out this would be the mystery movie at my Marcus Theaters and putting on pants to go see it. Because if it had not been this, I was not going to go. And I'm glad I went. I'm glad I got my fifis hurt. And I'm glad I saw some fucked up shit. And I am glad to have another movie, like, sniping for my top 10. This is definitely one of my favorites of the year so far. And I think it's one of my favorite possession movies we've gotten recently, which is wild that 2 of my favorite possession movies are coming from the same people. I'm not going to tell other people to step it up, but I wish they would. I wish they would, because I would believe her in them if they would. Anywho's, if you agree or disagree, leave some shit in the comments. React to this wherever the fuck you watch it at online, because we put it on all our social medias. And if you disagree respectfully, we can talk about it. If you disagree disrespectfully, we will not be speaking. You would be blocked. Thank you and good night. Stay fierce out there. Bye.